Hello everyone. Today we will talk about the game that happened between Beth and Vasily Borgov in the fourth episode of the series. So the actual game was played in 1965 between Leonid Stein and Alexander Matanovic. And we have a slight variation of the actual game. But anyway, this is the second game that Beth lost in her professional career. And Beth is black, Borgov is white, and Borgov opened with e4. And we have a Sicilian defense, so c5, and after that knight f3, knight c6, and bishop g5, b5. And we have a Rossolimo variation. So here Beth replied with g6, developing the dark square bishop on g7 and try to play on this diagonal. And Borgov replied with c3. So c3 is made in order to just to take away some power of from the bishop on g7. And here we have queen b6, a slight inaccuracy. Here the right move is just bishop a4 that tells to white, look, you develop your queen in a silly position. You are not to black. You are not fighting for the center. I will just remaneuver my bishop on b3 maybe or on c2. That will fight for the f7 square, and I will try to control the center. But Borgov replied with e4. Here we have a bishop g7 and castle and a6, try to kick away the bishop, so we have the trade, really common idea in the Rossolimo variation, and here d4. So the right move here should be just to take the pawn, but I understand that it can seems scary, but in this position, the only way that white has to keep the advantage is by playing c4, sacrifice another pawn, and then play b3, and is really, really strange. Strange to say the least. But Beth didn't took on e4, and here she played d6, a really passive move that is not controlling the center and is leaving white with a lot of different options. So here Borgov replied with rook e1, just really principal chess. So control the center and nothing, just control the center. It's is always a good idea. And here we have bishop g4, pin the knight, and c5, d5. Queen c7, and we enter in a structure that, well, white has an advanced pawn. For sure, the e5 square is really important. So maybe some ideas are to trade this knight that is putting pressure on the e5 square for a possible push, and also to develop the knight via f7 to f6 to go on d7, and will control the bishop, and the knight from d7 will control the pawn push of e5. Here we have a block in the structure, taking space, and now the b6 square becomes vulnerable for some knight jumps like knight a3, knight c4, knight b6. Here we have knight f6 and knight d2. Castle, a6, h3, sorry, trade, and knight d7, controlling the e5 push. And here the position, well, white is has a slight advantage, but nothing so serious. Here, white developed the bishop on f4, so everything is every move is made to prevent white, or to give white the possibility to do this pawn break. But anyway, and black will try to fight for the queen side, like in Bacon style. Here we have b5, take, and take with the queen, and queen rook a2, queen b5, and knight d2. Here rook b8, bishop g5, sorry, to put pressure on the e7 pawn. And here we have first king f7, and after that h6, bishop e3, and knight d5 and knight e5. Here queen h4, and now Beth does a slight inaccuracy let's say like that, and pushes on g5, and now y is a slight inaccuracy because after h5, queen h5, there is this pawn breaks on h4 that will just open black position. Really, the king is not safe, so is an inaccuracy. Here we have knight c5, knight c4, and h4. So trade, and queen b3. And also this is an inaccuracy. A more precise move was queen c4, threatening the rook on a2 and even the pawn on e4. So now that the rook has to move, well, if the rook on e1 moves to a1, then the e4 pawn will fall. If the rook from a2 moves somewhere else, then the b2 pawn will fall. And this queen is in a nice square, kinda, well, not kinda, but is centralized for sure, and it can come to the defense if it needed. But here we have queen b3, so rook a1, rook a1, and here queen c2, because Beth want to take this pawn with the rook to threaten the king side. So here we have first bishop g1, bishop c1, trade, and trade. And here first we have this nice check, and after the king goes on the eighth rank, now the rook can't come anymore to the help because, for example, let's say that Borgov would have played something like queen h4. Now there is rook h8 that is really strong. The position is balanced anyway. After queen g3 check, we have king f8. But well, every piece is from a black side is participating to the attack, and this rook in the defense is really helpful. So that check was vital. Here we have so check, and after king f8 we have queen h4, queen takes h4. That is also preventing, sorry, is also preventing black from capturing the pawn on f2. So here we have king e8, and this is in fact the last blunder of the game, because now remember when we talk about the e5 square, that that pawn break that was really strong. Here in fact there is a e5 that opens black king, and this position is unplayable. But we have some other moves. So here we have take, check first to trade the rook. And here we have a nice rook sacrifice that can be taken, this rook, because then there will be the mate on e7. So here Beth played, she knew that she was already losing, but she played some other moves like f6, and now another really good move is d6. And now if black takes this rook, there is a mate again on e7. So black Beth replied with king d7, but now we have a check, king c6. And now first trade the rook, and after that we have queen takes f6, and the black king is completely open, so no hopes to save this game. But anyway, we have queen b8, check on c7, and after king b6 and queen f3, that is not threatening mate, but well, is threatening to infiltrate on the c6 square, and after that the king will have to go on a5. This pawn falls, and after some other moves, for example, something like um, I don't even know what to play. Let's say c4. I don't know. There is queen c6. After that, king a5. And we could also play a check here if queen b5. Well, we can do really a lot of stuff, but we can also play d7. The problem for black side is that this game is completely losing, even if Beth tries to try to simplify the position and trade the queen. Then the rook will have to go on d8 to block. Here is a check. But anyway, after rook c8 is finished, and even after king a4, anyway, rook c8, and the game is completely finished. And in fact, on this position, Beth resigned, and Borgov won the game and won the tournament. So, if I remember correctly, Beth was also a bit was in hangover. I'm not sure she was drunk, but she drank for sure before the game, but maybe the night before. I don't remember quite well. Anyway, for today's video is everything. So I hope you like it. Leave a comment if you want. Like. See you in the next video.